What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Unscripted Sports Show. I'm your host, Money E, back with another edition of MLB Week 3 Power Rankings 15. Yeah, I'm doing this late this week. And I'll be recapping some NHL and NBA playoffs. There's some games going on now. But for the MLB, I'll do this week, I'll just do the rankings. There's already some series that are over for this week, but the records won't count for that. It's only from last Sunday, the what is it? Last Monday, the 14th to the 20th from this Sunday. So, cause I only do from Monday. The week is Monday through Sunday. So I'll do that. Let's just start with that. Real quick. The power rankings. So number 15 is the Milwaukee Brewers. They come in the top 15 this week. They had a good week, 4-2, 12-10 overall. Of course, they weren't ranked last week, so that's why NR there. And the Cleveland Guardians dropped into the top 15. They went 4-2 too, 12-9. They weren't in the rankings last week. So the two teams that drop out are the Kansas City Royals and Los Angeles Angels. And then number 13, they moved up from number 15, and they went 3-3, 11-11 overall. But the Sunday game, they won 21-2, I believe, over the Orioles. So they deserve to stay in the top 15, in my opinion. They had a good series against the Orioles. The Boston Red Sox move up 2 spots too, to the number 12 from 14, and they went 4-3 this week, 12-11 overall. Toronto Blue Jays stayed steady, 3-3, 12-10 overall, so they stay in the top 15 at 11. Texas Rangers 4-2. Despite them going 4-2, I keep them at 10. So there's other teams. A lot of the top 10 teams had similar records during the week, so couldn't jump one team from another. So I kept Texas Rangers at the same 4-2, 13-9 overall. Number 9 is the Arizona Diamondbacks, 4-2 overall this week too. Last week, 13-9 overall. So they stay at number 9 for the third straight week. Number 8, the Phillies. Yes, the Phillies are struggling. They went 4-3 last week. They start going, yes, even though this doesn't count, I'll still say it. They got swept by the Mets. The Mets own them right now, especially in New York. The Phillies finally have a day off tomorrow after 16 straight days, so maybe a mental day off is what they needed. It's what they need, just to rejuvenate themselves. I guess that's not that word. They need to is that their new? Sorry, I'm watching AEW Dynamite too, so I guess they found their new manager. Yeah, so the Phillies got swept by the Mets. Won't count this week, but it will count for next week. But yes, they need this mental day off. 16 straight days. That's a lot. I know it's baseball season. I know teams play every day, but when you play 16 straight days and you're using your bullpen and your starters, and that can take a toll on 16 straight days. It's a lot. But it's early in the season. I'm not going to panic like some other Phillies fans are in the fan base. It's still early. Yes, I know people don't want to use that, but it's still early. It's not even May yet. And yes, the bullpen stinks right now. Jordan Romero blew another game today. They had a 3-2 lead going to the 10th, bottom of the 10th, and they lost 4-3. Yes, does he stink right now? Was it an awful signing right now? Does it look like an awful signing right now? Yeah. Do I think he can turn it around? Absolutely, because any pitcher can turn it around. One bad month of baseball is not going to determine my opinion on this team. We've seen this team turn it around before. In 2022, they got off to a rough start. They fired Joe Girardi, and they went on a run and went on to the World Series. Lost to the Astros, but they still went on a run. Anything can happen. The Mets did it last year. They started off slow, and ironically, they played us in London, and that's when they turned it around. So anything can happen. We're 13-12. We still have about a week left about a week and a half left in April. So they still can have a winning record. Get back, have a day off. I hope Rob Thompson lets them just cool off, have a mental day off, spend time with the family. They're going to be in Chicago on Friday afternoon game in Chicago, Wrigley Field, 2:20 Central Time. So that should be fun. Yeah, I didn't. Since the Phillies are my team, I wanted to talk about them a little bit more. So Tigers moved down a little bit, even though they went 4-3 to number 6 to number 7, only because the Yankees had only the Yankees. I'll talk about them in a sec. They only had one loss last week, so I jumped them. They went 4-3. They are number 7. The Yankees just lost to the Guardians 2 out of 3, so they already lost more than they did last week. They went 6-1 last week, 14-8. So they moved to number 6. And the Giants, they moved down from number 3 to number 5. They went 3-4, 14-8. I think they're slowly starting to decline here. The Chicago Cubs went 3-3. They stay up number 4, 14-10. Number 3, the San Diego Padres moved down from number 1 to number 3. They went 3-3, 16-6 on the season. Number 2, Los Angeles Dodgers went 5-1 last week, 16-7. They're starting to find their groove, and they'll probably soon be at number 1 again. And the number 1 team, it pains me to say, the New York Mets are my number 1 team this week. 5-2, 15-7. They're on a current, I think, 8-game winning streak now after they swept the Phillies, but before that, I think it was 5. So yeah. And here is the final. On the bottom, it will be the full. So, and now let's talk about the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs. Here. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. So, Boston Celtics are winning 63-58 right now in the third quarter. They lead the series 1-0. Cleveland is up 68-51 at halftime. They lead their series 1-0. Houston, Golden State coming up. Detroit, New York tomorrow. When Detroit, that series is tied 1-1. OKC Memphis 2-0. OKC is dominating that series. Denver Clippers, probably the best series so far, and that's 1-1. Clippers tied the series last night. Denver won game one. The best two series is probably Golden State Houston. We'll see about Houston tonight, but I expect them to tie it. And Denver and the Clippers. And New York and Detroit is not bad either. Um, Detroit showed some fight last night. New York tried to make a comeback, but Detroit put a stop to it after Detroit came back. After Knicks came back on in game one, Detroit didn't let them come back in game two. They let them tie it, but then Detroit hit the clutch three. I think it was three. And yeah, and the Knicks couldn't come back from that. So yeah, so far the NBA playoffs have been okay. I've enjoyed some of the series. Houston, Golden State, because I'm rooting for Golden State because Curry's my man. Curry's my favorite player, so I'm rooting for Curry, and then I'm rooting for playoff Jimmy. I know I've criticized playoff Jimmy Butler on this show before. I've said I didn't like him anymore, but I like playoff Jimmy. So I'm gonna be hypocritical there, but I do like playoff Jimmy. I think he's a different animal in the playoffs. I think he's a different player in the playoffs. I think I like I like this version of Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy. So yeah, I'm rooting for Golden State. I want to see Curry get number 5. So yeah, and then the Lakers and Minnesota. That was a good game. No, that series has been kind of lame because two blowouts, one on each side. So no, I think the Lakers didn't blow that Team Wolves out last night, but it was kind of like a low scoring game last night. So yes, so those players have been okay. Nothing to sneeze home about, but so far so good. And the other series, Boston and Orlando, and Cleveland and Miami. You can see that not really anything. Now to the NHL playoffs. Let's see. Playoffs. So Winnipeg is leading their series 2-0. Dallas and Colorado 1-1, as expected. Then Vegas and Minnesota is 1-1. That's surprising to me. Edmonton and Los Angeles 1-0 Kings. Carolina, New Jersey is 2-0. Wow. Did they already play 2 games? Yeah, okay. Washington, Montreal is going on tonight. That's 1-0. Florida won the first game last night. 6-2 over Tampa Bay. And Toronto is up 2-0 against Iowa, which I'm surprised. But I'm not. Yeah. So the NHL playoffs have been awesome. There's been some good games. Vegas game one was pretty decent, pretty good. I wanted to check out the scores, but something went wrong. There we go. Okay. I guess I can't check out the playoffs. So the first 2 games is just won 5-3 and 2-1. Then he won a close game last, I think, on Monday night. Yeah, last night. No, Monday night. They play tomorrow in St. Louis and Sunday in St. Louis. Next game, Carolina. It's going to be a short episode, but so Carolina won 4-2 and 3-1, and Game 3 is Friday night in New Jersey and Sunday night in New Jersey. St. Louis, I already said that. Why did I do that? Colorado and Dallas, which I think is going to be the best series so far. Colorado won 5-1, and Dallas won 4-3 in overtime last night. Why do I keep saying last night? It was Monday night. Today is Wednesday, so Game 3 is tonight. Wow. Okay, Game 3 is tonight, and then Game 4 is Saturday. Okay. Vegas and Minnesota, they played last night. I know that because that was 11 o'clock. I was watching some of that, and Minnesota was up 4-1. So they play tomorrow, and they play Saturday in Minnesota. Edmonton and LA, I think play tonight. I would think they'll play tonight. No, yeah, Game 2 is tonight in LA. I think Edmonton wins that. It should be another high scoring game. 6-5 in the first game, so 11 goals scored in the first game. So this might be the best series so far. And I think the NHL playoffs have been better than the NBA. So, but both. It's funny that both are on ESPN TNT now, and so they rotate. It's funny how that wasn't the case a couple years ago when NHL wasn't on NBC, and now ESPN, ABC are getting rid of MLB. So yeah, I've always been critical of ESPN. I hate ESPN. I've been hating ESPN for over a decade, last 15 years. So ever since Stuart Scott passed away, may he rest in peace. I think it's gone downhill. Um, I think that's it. Um, for MLB, there's not really much else to talk about other than, as I said, it's still early in the season. You got the Yankees that are struggling on offense. You got the Phillies who are struggling on offense. Dodgers are not consistent themselves, but they lost 11-10 yesterday. Somehow they beat Chicago twice in Japan, and they can't beat them over here in the States. So they've lost. They lost 2 out of 3 in LA, and they lost the first game last night in the 2-game series. It's only a 2-game series because they played the first 2 in Japan, so it evens it out. So four games there, and then 3 in LA, so 7. And LA won 2 in Japan, and only won 1 in the States, and they have 1 more game left. So they lost 1, 2, 3. So they're 1-3 in the States against the Cubs. The Orioles are struggling. The Royals are struggling. There's a lot of teams that I expected to be good that are struggling. So, yeah. I might be back on Friday to recap the draft. I won't be able to do a live stream during the draft. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see how work goes and see if I feel like doing it. Who knows? I might do it. Might not. The draft is so long. I don't want to stay. I don't want to be doing a 4-hour stream. So maybe if I maybe if I'm in the mood, if work is not bad, then maybe I'll come on and do the first 15 picks or something, watch along. Maybe I'll get Dave and Sean to come on. We'll see. But yeah, until then, I'm out. Later, guys.